Hello, everyone. Thank you for being here in person or remotely. Let's get right into it. So we have a missing 9-year-old boy with autism in Umset Park who went missing while on a nature walk with a church group. And he went missing about an hour and a half ago, so still pretty fresh here. And the place last seen for him was a restroom along the trail, and that will be our initial planning point. So just keep that in mind going forward. So I think for this will be the first time we can really start implementing the ISRD, International Search and Rescue Database data, start using some of that data for this missing person incident. And we talked about this before. This will be the first kind of run through of using it. And like I've kind of probably mentioned before to you, as of 2008, the database includes over 50,000 individual cases. And it contains 76 data fields, or potential for 76 data fields for all those cases. Sadly, not every case has 76 data fields. And 91% of this data is coming from the US, 5% from New Zealand, 2% from Canada, and 1.4% from the UK. So especially using it here in the US, I think the data is very valid. So much of the data is coming from the US. Now, some downsides to it is all the subjects are basically put in categories, and there can't be a category to match every situation. So we'll be using data from the autistic category, which is used for an autistic person of any age or any activity. So it's it's a little bit rough, and as you get down to these categories, the sample size does get smaller into these categories, and also you may not have the full range of 76 data fields for every category. So we'll be missing some certain data on like direction and distance traveled over time for this subject. It's not part of the autistic subject category data set, but I still think it's some good valid information for us to incorporate. Okay, so moving forward to our initial plan. So we have a Wake County Sheriff will be getting in touch with the kid's parent to just kind of gather more information about him, because being an autistic child, he might have certain characteristics that we'd like to know about how verbal he is, how well does he communicate, is he drawn to certain things like roads or lakes, will he be evasive and try to hide? We really don't know that yet, but Wake County Sheriff will be taking the lead on that. See, so like I said, the restroom is our place last seen in our IPP. So our first action will be for park rangers from Umset Park to search the IPP very thoroughly. And next, they will hopefully move on to searching the 25% POA probability of the area, which is a 0.4 mile radius from the IPP. And that means that there's a 25% chance based on ISRID data from the database that he's within that zone. The third priority will be to kind of move out on travel corridors, like obviously the trail, and then any trails that trail intersects, any roads intersects, moving away from the IPP. That'll be our third priority. And after that, our priority will then shift to searching the 50% POA, which is a 1 mile radius away from the IPP, followed by a 75% POA zone. So 75% chance will be contained in that area, which is a 2.3 mile radius. And we will have law enforcement, which will be Wake County Sheriffs and Raleigh PD, set up containment area at the 95% zone, which is a 9.5 mile radius from the IPP. And if we get more resources with a timely manner, we may look to actually maybe set up a containment area at the bounds of the park, just to limit it a little bit closer in, so he really has been missing for that long. And I'll go ahead and mention right now, as these searches progress, as we get more information from the parents, and just more things come to light, we get more resources, we can't get scenario locked. We need to stay, have some fluidity to our plans and incorporate new information into what we do, and not be locked in on one, that was my initial plan, but if we need to change that, we will change it and, update as we go. So just keep that in mind. Like I said, in terms of resources, we'll have the park rangers. They can kind of take lead on some of the search, because they are trained in search, and they're also very familiar with Umset Park. And for kind of manpower for the search, they can kind of lead some teams from Raleigh USAR, which they don't technically do wilderness search that much. They're more of a urban search, collapse search, but they have a lot of the relevant skills and training, and they'd be led by the park rangers. Right, like I said, right now we have the park rangers searching the IPP, and we'll move on to the 25% POA. And I've asked for some dog teams to help search the IPP in 25% POA. Make sure it's done very thoroughly, because that's key. And we'll have Raleigh PD and Wake County Sheriffs as our law enforcement resources, and Wake County EMS will provide a unit to stand by for to treat the subject when he's found, and also provide rehab for the searchers. So I've kind of gone over the area distances we can expect in terms of our zones of POA for the subject. Just some other things to note is that the track offset for this category of people is pretty promising, and that's why I wanted to search the areas around the trails quickly. I think the offsets will be will be a priority after searching the 50% POA, if they're not just included in the 50% POA. But the track offset for this group is 25% will be found within 9 meters of the linear feature, whether it be a road, trail, or what have you. 50% will be within 15 meters, 75% will be in 22 meters, and 95% will be in 335 meters. Also, the survivability is very good for this group, because as far as we know, he's uninjured. He's in the wilderness, so he should be. If we find him in under 24 hours, he should definitely 100% chance that he'll be alive based on the data we have. Past 24, but for 48, 67%, and past 48 hours, we're still looking at 50% probability. So that's still really good, I think. This type of scenario, it is 89% of this category is actually a lost person, which I think is what we have here. So this fits that very well. And we don't really have too much data on direction, elevation change, or how fast they'll move over time, because this data set doesn't include those categories of data. Like I mentioned, these categories of subject might not have all the possible data fields. This one is no exception. Okay, I think that covers everything. Let's get moving all this stuff and get some mats going, and we'll meet back in 30 minutes and see how we're doing.